1.1 million items, 500 different variants, 50,000 process steps, and all that must be handled with minimal effort and sensible processes. At Ortlieb, we make waterproof outdoor equipment, backpacks and bike bags, and we do it all here on site in Heilsbronn. Previously, the 50 to 60,000 process steps that I mentioned before were always planned by 2 to 4 employees. So it was a manual process. In the past, people would forget to carry out a step. We have a wide range of operations that must be carried out. Everyone would do it differently, and that was, of course, the challenge. It was a lot of undocumented knowledge. Each person would plan things in their own way, and that meant the process wasn't standardized. Thanks to APS, the planning effort has reduced by over half. Before, it required 2 employees. Now, 1 employee handles planning for 3 hours a day. Well, shortly after implementation, we were like, wow, the planning effort has reduced dramatically. Planning now takes 3 hours compared to 16 hours before. We now use that freed up capacity for other tasks. We have basically completely restructured our work preparation and planning department, which means we're now more flexible. And I think our return on investment has been quite fast, if you add that up over the year. The need to introduce APS came from production. We funneled and compiled production's many requirements, and then thought about how we could meet those requirements. In the end, we decided we couldn't do it in our ERP system. We didn't have any systems that could calculate all this data. And then we heard about L-Mobile's APS solution at an event, and it met all these requirements. And a very important point wasn't just the department's requirements, but also the interfaces to and from the ERP system. That's what makes it a well-rounded system. We have target data, we have current data, and we control that cycle. And that's what makes APS so great, thanks to the data that we provide. We often say that APS takes over the last mile of production. The ERP system creates a long-term plan. If I have new machines, then I need to record them in the ERP system. That is sent automatically to APS. But then I might have short-term issues like, if a machine stops working and I can't keep manufacturing, and APS has that information. The ERP system doesn't care about that. And that was the biggest challenge. But we managed to solve that with L-Mobile. We are very happy with the software. We managed to integrate it into our data flows, and obviously that's ideal. We were able to dramatically increase our production capacities thanks to APS without additional machines or shifts. And that's mainly because we're able to schedule orders better. Quite a lot of material was being processed in production. That has now dropped dramatically. So we have drastically reduced our release horizon in production. That means we have more flexibility during fluctuations in demand. For example, if the production plan, which is released in the morning and then goes into production, changes during the day, it's not a problem for us. We just bring it forward. The production supervisor knows. Oh, okay, that's next on the list. So in that sense, I think it's a huge advantage and it makes life so much easier.